Hello, gorgeous tribe. Welcome to my live. I'm so pleased to see everyone. There we go. How are you all doing? I can see all your prayers. Amen and amen. Sister Gloria, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's lovely to be on your show. It's such a privilege. Thank you for having me on.
Oh,
I
thank you
can't
so
wait.
much.
I can't wait to meet your gorgeous family.
It was such a short notice, and I'm so
I
glad.
know, but we did
Today,
it.
guys, today's live is special because we're not just meeting up, we are diving deep into this week's Pola Nuggets. The episode about betrayal, it's so deep that it doesn't just break your heart. It just breaks your reality, like I said on the video. So we're going to talk about that today with our lovely guest. I'm going to introduce her very soon. And also, we're going to be doing our giveaway announcement. So Gorgeous Pola TV has a monthly giveaway that we do just to give back to the society and to let our gorgeous tribe know we appreciate them. Every week they're on enjoying the nuggets, getting value from it, and engaging as well. So we have our monthly giveaway that we do on Instagram. And this month, I just thought, okay, why not stretch it a little bit further for small businesses? So when I say small businesses, I mean small businesses that are just trying to start, people that are trying to find their feet, people that profit margin not as great, but they're just doing it, just to make ends meet and the rest of it. So I've been thinking about it for some weeks now. And yesterday I decided to say, okay, instead of giving 10 people 10 grand each, I'm going to extend it and give 5 individuals 10 grand and support small businesses with 20 grand in Naira. So we made that decision and I posted it yesterday and sent out some quiz questions. We'll get to that at some point. At the end of the live, we will announce who the winners are. So today, of course, we'll be blessing the 10 people. And before we begin, I would just like to introduce you guys to our darling Gloria. So tonight, guys, my darling gorgeous tribe, I am joined by a woman whose work aligns so beautifully with the heart of this community. Gloria Eribor is joining us all the way from Saudi Arabia. And she is not just a darling sister, she's a friend, she's an author, and she's the founder of Write, Heal, Grow, Glow. She's going to tell us more about it when it's time for her to speak. But I just wanted to introduce her to you and to let you know her platform is rooted in emotional healing, intentional growth, and spiritual renewal. So she believes in the word healing, and she believes that growth is intentional. If you want to grow, you have to be intentional about it. And she also believes something she says that really strikes me: transformation begins from within.
Yeah.
So, gorgeous tribe, help me welcome Gloria. Lovely to meet you again, my darling.
Hi, everyone. Lovely to meet the gorgeous community. I read and I follow you guys for a while now, and it's just amazing. Thank you to Gorgeous Pola for the opportunity to be here and to enjoy this moment with you as well. We all live experiences. We've all have life experiences, both the bad, the ugly, and, the ones we don't even want to talk about. But having a community like this is beautiful because it's a safe space where you can actually delve in and, talk about your feelings and get the right support from women who have gone through the same thing or similar things in life. So it's a pleasure to be here, and I hope we'll have a lovely time together this evening.
Absolutely. There's no dull moment with Gorgeous Pola. So, yeah, we have a great time. Right. So, just to reiterate, the things we'll talk about is inclusive of both men and women and even children sometimes, because there are times we talk about parenting, we talk about raising children in the Gen Z or the Gen Alpha generation. And I always use my kids as examples because I have Gen Alpha children and they are so smart. If you tell my 5 years old to do something, he wants to know why. So when you're raising a Gen Z or a Gen Alpha kid, you have to be intentional with your instructions, with what you do, what you model to them, because they are watching you closely. So again, all the men in the group chat, welcome as well. This stretches out to you. So it's not just a women thing, it's for all of us. So I did mention in my introduction, Gloria, that you are an author. I've read one or two of your books and they have really, really blessed me, especially the Healing from Within. Can you tell us more about yourself and what you do and the books that you write?
Okay, first of all, thank you again for the platform. I'm a mother of three. I've got three children. Oldest is almost 20 years old, and I've got nearly 16, and I've got an 11 going to 12. Life has been a journey, it's really been a long journey, especially, motherhood and dealing with things. And I lived in the UK for a while, for a long time actually, and relocated to Saudi Arabia in 2002 with my family. It's been a journey, a big transition. And when you mean transition, a lot of things happen within transition. There is loss, there is change. Change is a big thing, and it all changes, life experiences for you. So how did I write Heal, Grow, Glow? I've never dreamt to be an author in my life. But there are times in life where God puts you in an opportunity or in a place where you're able to have the space and time to reflect on the God's given talent that God has given to you, which is always hidden. We all have one, but you never have the right chance and opportunity to explore them because we're too busy chasing one thing or the other. And that's why one of my books, which talks about stillness, is the time of stillness that I was able to get this vision to write and reflect on the things that have happened in my life over the years. And this was when Write, Heal, Grow, Glow was born. So Write, Heal, Grow, Glow, it's a journey of writing through the pathway of healing and inner transformation. So when you write, when you feel things in your heart and you put them down, that's the first step. You're letting them out. And then when you let those things out, that's a pathway to healing, because you can now process the things that you've written down and you kind of reflect on why those things have happened, what you could have done to avoid them, and possibly solutions to those outcomes. And when you then process those things, and then it begins to reflect in your art, and then that's where the inner transformation happens. And that is where the title of my foundation, I will call it Write, Heal, Grow. That's where it started from, and then I have started working on, I'm going on and on and on. And basically the books are created for the intention to hold the space for growth, for reflection, for gentle work of healing from inside out. Okay. And to help with restoration. Healing is not something that happens. It's linear, it can happen in different ways, and this is what my journey and my story is all about. If you need more information, we will share that later, but I'll hand over back to gorgeous Pola.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Gloria. Really great work you're doing with those books. Okay, let's go to the main gist of the day. Wisdom and grace. I've received multiple feedbacks in the last 24 hours since I posted the last episode of Pola's Nuggets, and I just wanted us to talk about it. So the episode opened with a question: what happens when loyalty becomes a trap and kindness becomes a target? So from your work in emotional healing, why do you think good people often become targets for emotional manipulations?
I think the first thing is good people lead with trust. Trust is the key thing. You see yourself in other people and you just pour yourself out, hoping that people return the same thing you pour out back to them. Good people, they love without keeping score. They give without suspicion. And they just assume sincerity because sincerity lives in them. You're just an open book and you expect people to come back with you the same way you are open, But manipulators, they're always out there. They sense that this way, this way is a predator's sense, they sense stillness. The manipulators and predators, they sense stillness. And in this story, because I listened to the story yesterday.
Yeah, I saw your comment. When I saw your comment, I said, oh, this is deep.
I couldn't just leave with a comment. I just couldn't, I couldn't imagine. I just said to myself, you know what, let me just go and breathe and think and reflect on this, because it's a really big one. In the story, the woman had so much goodness in her. She had so much love to give, the willingness to give her body to save her husband's life. That's huge. Not many people will do that, but that single gift, the sacrifice that she was able to give because she was a good person at heart, and because of the love she has for her husband, that actually opened the way for betrayal. It allowed betrayal to hide in a plain sight. She was there all along, loving up her husband, but yet the man was doing something else behind. In plain sight, our loyalty makes deception easier, and it didn't make it harder.
Absolutely.
That's one key thing. Loyalty sometimes makes deception easier because you're too loyal. You're not seeing outside the box. You're not seeing the negatives around. You're not seeing the red boxes, and all the red marks.
I've got a question for that. Are you trying to tell us that even when we are loyal, we should still have our eyes open? Like, love is not blind when it comes to that? Is that what you're saying? Or
I think we should be sensitive. That's the word I'm going to be used, sensitive. Use your intuition, There could have been, I'm sure, if you're married to someone, I'm just saying from my point of view, we're all different. If you're married to someone, there is no how you're close to that person. You will sense one or two things that are not right. Maybe you're not sensitive to it because you've got a good heart, you're a good person, and you're thinking this person would never do something like this, right? You can never tell, actually. Betrayal can eat in any angle, in any way, where you never prepare for. In our case, she didn't prepare for it. She was able to give her. What if she died on that bed, giving her kidney?
And one thing I mentioned was, when betrayal like this breaks you, it doesn't just break your heart. It breaks your reality. You start seeing yourself like you're stupid, like, oh, Absolutely. Why did I read it between the lines? You start even blaming yourself.
Absolutely.
And this story, it was so deep. When I read initially, I thought, oh my God, how do I even share this in the first place? Because I know a lot of people will resonate with this. A lot of people are going through similar betrayal. It might not be exactly involving kidney, lungs, or body parts, but people go through a lot of betrayal every day. And my question is, when betrayal hits at this level, Gloria, what do you think happens inside a person emotionally and spiritually? What do you think that lady went through when she saw that first line of, has that fool given you her kidney yet? I can't wait for you to divorce her. What do you think hit her at that point?
I'm picturing myself just being the one taking that phone and reading that message. It's killing. It's emotionally traumatizing. You just freeze. It's hard, but betrayal doesn't just break the heart. From what I know, from what I've read, from what I've experienced, it fractures reality. Reality. She's zoned out. When you're in shock, you're zoned out. Your brain is, in 1,001 places. No, you're wiping your eyes. Did I really see that message? No, it's not true. It cannot be true, right? Emotionally, shock collides with grief. At that point in time, it's not just a shock. It's not just a heartbreak. Grief comes in. Rage comes in with disbelief.
Rage, yeah. But of course, she raged at because the guy was already in the theater waiting for her to be prepped and come in. So
it's disbelief, basically. Rage with disbelief. Spiritually, something sacred shatters. You begin to question your spirituality. You begin to question. Why would this happen to me? Especially if you're Christian. You say, God, where are you? The belief that love was saved is shattered. Yeah. That vow meant protection. When you vow, when you stand on the altar and you say, I do, for better, for worse. Spiritually, that vow is meant to be for protection. But for that vow to be broken in such a unexplainable way, it's hard. It feels like you're losing your footing in the world, as if the ground you trusted was never solid in the first place. It's difficult to explain unless you've actually been in that person's shoes.
Yeah.
You know, it's
someone really close to me went through it. Not exactly the way this viewer's story is, but she gave her life savings and everything to her husband of many decades. And from one issue to another, everything they had was sold out and the side piece got all the money.
In the quiet, in the storm, there's a voice that keeps us warm. Through the tears and through the fight, Pola's nuggets shine so bright. Nuggets of light, wisdom and grace, healing the heart in every space.
It's gorgeous, Pola.